Hello, and welcome to another update video about Bitcoin now. Truly, everybody should be in the new year, and I wish you all a happy new year. Hope you had a good start. Now, the market is also still recovering from its hangover, I think. It really is quiet at the moment. It has been quiet over the last few days. Of course, on the smaller time frames, there was a little bit of volatility, kept it somewhat interesting and alive, but overall, the situation in the market actually hasn't changed in the last few weeks. Actually, probably not for 4 weeks or so. In the last 4 weeks, with from when the market started this correction, from the moment on when many of the altcoins formed a local top, including Bitcoin, which is not an altcoin, but you know what I want to say. And the correction is still unfolding. There is currently no evidence that this correction has completed, even though I don't necessarily think it has to continue much longer. So on the daily chart, the context is completely unchanged. Thesis is we are in some kind of a wave 4 correction with one more high to come in this cycle. And yeah, I talked about the daily chart yesterday, but just to share with you and prepare you that Q1 could still involve another nice rally in the crypto sector. Pullbacks remain largely corrective. Main support areas mostly are holding, I would say, not on all coin charts, but mostly. And I'm watching for evidence that this next move to the upside has started, which is at this stage not yet the case. Quite the opposite, actually. But we'll take a look at that now on the smaller time frame. And on the smaller time frame, you can see in more detail this wave 4 correction. And there are two wave counts I'm watching. There's a short-term bullish and a short-term bearish one. Now, that said, both of these, even the short-term bullish one, are currently seen as part of a still unfolding correction. But again, if we follow the short-term bullish one, and the market follows a pathway of 5 waves to the upside from the December low, then it could be the first step to confirming something even more bullish. Something more directly bullish, which might take the price to 130k plus more directly. That's expected anyway, not necessarily in a direct fashion, because the move to the downside looks somewhat incomplete. But a break above a certain level, which we'll talk about now, and an invalidation of the wide scenario, while it would probably still be part of the overall correction, it could open the door to a more bullish alternative, a directly bullish alternative, which is very much, they are all in line with the larger time frame, which suggests one more high to come. The main question at the moment on the smaller time frame is, has the correction already completed? And there is no evidence for that. But should the market now, for example, invalidate an immediate bearish setup, invalidate the wide scenario that we'll talk about now, well, that might open the door towards a rally to 130k. Yeah. Now, again, it would still require further evidence, but that is something that we would then consider, because it would remove one directly bearish scenario, short-term bearish only. This is the 15-minute chart. Now, I could also show you the 1-hour chart, right? Sometimes people ask me why I analyze Bitcoin below the 1-hour chart. Isn't that too volatile? Now, again, it's the same. I can only identify, however, the waves a little bit better on the 15-minute chart. That's not always the case. Sometimes it doesn't make any sense whatsoever. But as you can see, there is definitely less detail on the 1-hour chart. And you always have to be careful, like with 15-minute and everything. I mean, there are many distortions on these smaller time frames. So that's important to understand. But overall, what is the short-term bearish case? Short-term bearish, we have a move down in wave A, a move up in wave B, which topped on the 26th of December. And the C wave down could be unfolding now. 85k is still a nominal target. And from there, we could recover and start the 5th wave up. Well, that would be textbook, right? However, what is not particularly textbook, well, actually it is, but it's not ideal, is that the move down is quite complex. So the move down that started here on the 26th of December, while it started to really follow nicely an impulsive structure, which is clearly, quite easy to predict, and forecasted parameters are easy to define, it is morphed into something more complex. This bit here indicates the move down has to be at least a diagonal pattern. And that means it introduces some complexity. It means the bulls are turning up. It means the bears are not winning, clearly. They're kind of still leading, but they are not clearly winning. So prepare for some adjustments along the way. There's pretty much always when the market throws a curveball in and it indicates it's not moving down in an impulse, well, a diagonal makes things 10 times more difficult. And this is the case. So we then saw a rally, which is probably still part of that wave 3 down in wave C of 4. But it indicates something could be changing. So anyway, a B wave up and now the C wave down could have started. Yesterday I told you we only had 3 waves down. So we needed to see 5 down for an indication that we've actually topped in wave B. And then it would be wise to watch for the corrective rally next to see if the market does indeed get rejected in this resistance area, which I've added today. So resistance is now 94,110 to 95,470, which means that as long as the market stays now below resistance, or at least below the 78.6 retracement, the white scenario seems to be clearly leading because we have a 5-wave move down. Now, that said, it's only on the 15-minute chart, so be careful here. It's not particularly reliable, but this is going to be a clear signal. The signal that we now got from the market was that the market wants to go down a little bit lower because it's a 5-wave move down. That's what I told you in the last video. We want to wait for that signal. Do we get 5 waves down? And yes, we do. So we have some tendency that the market wants to go lower short term. So the white count seems to be leading. But with any analysis, you get the level that will tell us that the bears are losing control. And that would be a break above 95,470. And the formal invalidation point is 96,220, which is the 31st of December high. Now, that said, if there is a bearish setup, which this one is, and it gets invalidated, that's a clear signal that the bulls are trying to take the lead, right? So we then would be dealing with a structure that morphed from a downside impulse into a diagonal, and even the next bearish setup fails. That's a clear indication the bulls want to take the lead, right? I would treat that as a signal instead of getting frustrated. If we then also see the price break above the green line at 97,450, the yellow count will be clearly in control and would likely send us into that blue target zone of pretty much 98.8k plus. And it would also open the door to a direct move up. So for me, there are 3 levels of confirmation for the yellow, more bullish wave count, where the market could visit the blue box next. And the first break would be, or the first signal would be a break above 95,470. The next signal would be invalidation of the directly bearish setup. And that's a move above that 96,220 level. And the next confirmation would be a formal invalidation. I mean, if we break above that 96,220 level, wave B will reset, right? Yes, the 1-2 setup is going to be invalidated, but wave B could still be unfolding in white. But that's not the case anymore above the green line. So that will the upside levels I just mentioned to you, they would confirm further that the bears are starting to lose control. Until though the market breaks above 95,470, I'd be at least watching for a reaction in the resistance area and a strong move down, which would be further confirmed with a break below the wave 1 low at 92,820. That's the update about Bitcoin. Hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Also make sure that you follow us on Instagram and Twitter for additional content. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.